everyone. It's great to be out here tonight, to see all of you here, colleagues, friends, and other people I don't know. I recently got my MFA, got it last May, and so, well, thanks. Yeah. And I know some of you are in the process of getting that. What I'm reading tonight is mostly things I've written since my MFA. I think for the most part, that's what I've got here. So I'll just get started. I'm reading poetry for you tonight. The first one is called Hummingbird Apocalypse. Expert panel reveals it won't be zombies. Locusts won't block out the sun. Aliens won't be interested. It will be instead our long, submissive neighbors, seahorses or pigs or hummingbirds, finally sick of turning the other cheek. Like any other apocalyptic news, this is satire. Hummingbirds would never destroy humankind to poke their beaks through our notion the earth was made for us. Thank you. So as Jesse said, I do teach composition, so I'm an English teacher who is currently also studying science. So a little bit of an anomaly, but it's giving me some different things to write about, for sure. I'm in a class, actually. You know, I'm just always taking classes. I think I'll always be taking classes until I die. I'm taking a class, and they asked me to create a bottle biosphere. Anyone ever create one? No? Okay. It's a disaster, but it is giving me some things to write about. So some of my poems are a little bit themed around what I'm thinking about involving science lately. This one's called Gathering Materials for the Experiment. A careful selection of invertebrates, glass jar to carry sand and mud, digging around at the edge of the creek with a stick. A frequent glance up the bank, expecting onlookers, and ready to yell, "I'm a scientist!" A stretch by all means, but somehow, bent over in my anxiety, looking down into a hole in the ground, a pacifying alibi. All right. This one is called A Little Lower Than the Angels. When considering being born as a human being or otherwise, make a pro-con list. All of the well-worn binaries cancel each other out. Love and loss, pleasure and pain, joy and grief. Move on. There are practicalities. A long lifespan, an advanced cortex, top predatory privileges. You can live comfortably on an estate that was a habitat, making the earth your scrub. Consider your other options. Come embodied in a sickness, a fungus, a short-lived, shallow-rooted species. Those who also send and receive signals, but are not so given to rumination, not so enraged when it comes time to die. In the end, you might find it's a toss-up, but you didn't have a choice, did you? All the angels we thought we saw in the low light have faded, and the ladder to heaven lies in the dirt like a giant fallen redwood. And as I follow its scuffed golden rungs, I reach the highest one, and there I find a forest. Thank you. Animal. With glass jars and milk cartons, I search for a small animal to come live in my home in a bottle by the window. The banks are still icy. The only animal that found me that day died on my chest, with stained glass wings and legs hanging down like unbrushed hair. The body so light, the wind tapped and it tumbled. It's over. They're like, I don't know, should I? It's okay, you can clap. Save everything. You act like a person who has had promises made to her, holy words whispered to her in deep time before the earth ever rotated in carousel colors. And at that time you bowed and said, send me. And here you are, evangelizing to the mayflies with hope of extending their short lives beyond the dewdrop grave. As if the length of a life were the problem, or as if an eternity could be the solution. As each new life arises, you feel a heavier burden for all that will pass away. Where will you store all the souls that you have saved? In a box with a wind-up ballerina and a screeching old song? Thank you. Okay, so I found this poem that's been sitting in my computer for quite a while. I wrote it just when I had moved up to Flagstaff in 2013, and it hasn't made a debut yet, so this is its debut. Flagstaff Flower Path. Pharmacy of pretty poisons, bitter guts in pink satin tablets, packed in like cigarettes, long fingers reaching out to offer bug juice in a fairy lip. Sunfire orange capsule, dispensary of cadmium venom, and Prussian blue tongue sting. Feathered violet phosphate, witch lashes, untasted intoxicant, in costume, so lovely. Thank you. Okay. So this is when I wrote over the summer. I was really lucky to be able to write in San Francisco over the summer. And also I was doing a lot of reading too, so that helps, right? Reading a lot of poetry, writing a lot of poetry. So I wrote something in response to Pablo Neruda. So this is called Response to Pablo Neruda. In your poem, Pablo Neruda, you lament this dying world and all the dead. You lament this dying body and praise the frail wonders of the poor masses, the artists. I remember when I loved this world. Loved it so much I would have given my only begotten anything if I had it. And as time went on and I gave, it was clear that I didn't. At the height of Machu Picchu, you sang to the ghosts of a civilization. I remember when the art of humanity could thrill me. Lately, I have been asking if our extinction would endanger only ourselves. For whom do any of us build, slave or master? Why my art? Why yours? Culture for what? I'm sorry your friends died. A lot of these are about death. I've noticed that. Kind of a downer. This one's also a downer. But I want to mention that you may have heard it going around recently that, there's a problem with wealth inequality in this country. Maybe you've heard something about that. There is a problem with that. And I call this one Poverties. I talk about poverty. And, someone in my life is homeless. And so it's amazing to me how little can be done sometimes for people who have mental illness and who have some serious financial problems, and just the system is broken. But you all knew that. So this is called Poverties. At what point in the timeline of a poor man's life do you pin poverty? There was a time when he had a blue house. At that time, he had as many rooms as one could want, and in his backyard as much lake as one could spread a mind out on. Should the pin drop there, he could not file for a bankrupt life, could he? Now is a fleeting thing, so perhaps the car is no measurement of what he has. Though it is lakeless, it is roomless, it is broke down in some back lot. He has been for a decade. At one time, he had the red earth. At another, he had the hidden Pennsylvania hills. Even once he had a daughter, another and another, a mind of sorts and another. I suppose in a poor man's life, there are poverties and there are wealths. Thank you. Thanks for listening to me, everyone. I think I have maybe 2 left. All right. Okay, this one is called no, it's not. It's called Dependent Co-arising. All your life, you've never seen a woman taken by the wind, so this is new. I had been asking for a sorceress. I had been wanting a witch. Well, you're in luck, because this song is about a witch. Here's a lovely option for your epitaph. I know it is, so I ask, say it again, say it again. Kiss me when the cottony starfruit falls from the aspens. Tell me about the poverty of magic. Well, some say abandonment leaves an irreparable wound located on the heart. No, I say, I don't believe that. Damn pirates, lost boys, can't fly, can't crow, can't tell me this grief is forever. She says it's not. One travels from the west, one travels from the east, and at the center, a sad magic arises. What better connection between us than an unusual grief? I know the secret clothing she wears when she sleeps in a toad lily. I take comfort. I know there are feathers in her pillows. I take comfort. She whispers my epitaph in my ear. I take comfort. There is no heaven to promise. There are red leaves and empty desert beaches. There is a potion for autumn and a drop left for love, and with the cessation of one, the cessation of the other. This song was about a witch. Thank you. And I know some of you have either read my Jerusalem sequence or you've heard me read it. This is not part of the sequence, but it is themed off of it. So this is called City of No Name. Excuse me. There is no Jerusalem, city called beautiful, shrine to the memory of peace. Our names are probably not written in the sky. On a wedding day, you bid for a new name. You forget about death. In a holy land, you acquire a doubting disorder, shivers in a cenacle. Now you wonder at that wedding ceremony. 3 friends as witnesses, a day also to dig in the dirt. The dress is white, for it is presumed you will bury no one on that day. And what shall this child be called? We have asked names to do too much for us. There is no Jerusalem. And I'm going to finish on this one. It's quick. It's called Comforting Roadside Sign. There is nothing here. Welcome. Thank you.